Welcome to Center of Light. My aim is to always be clear. Backed with the force of the divine will sit pretty nicely. Center of Light. Introduction to Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul Tonight. Without any further ado, I want to say a very big thank you. He's like, oh, Keith, stop it. No. I want to drop everyone in the forum now on Facebook how to stomp all over this beautiful, sexy human soul's website. Mr. Gavin Lee Davies is a beautiful troublemaker. Hello, Dana. Hello, Lynn. Hello, Gail. Lewis, Rick, Gavin, everyone.
Access granted.
Let me do that again.
Access granted.
Everyone has access to the garden, and in so doing, we go
where no man has gone before.
right? So everyone, if you would, stomp all over Gavin's page. He is a beautiful troublemaker. He's responsible for allowing me to be a part of his passion, which is a book producer, marketing guru, guy, sexy human being. His first book, I don't know if it was his first one, but one of his most recent successful books is called Ghost Sex. Just by the title alone, I did a little bit more research, got him on Center of Light Radio about four or 5 years ago. This boy sells books like candy, like lemonade at a lemonade stand. Hello, Thomas. Hello, Trudy. Thank you for sharing, Dana. He also, his most recent book is called Haunted. Gavin, help me. Haverford West. Gavin's really into the paranormal, and he's really, really good at it. Recently, last year and a half, I saw him post something about looking for authors, and I was like, oh, and this boy sells books. I need to talk to him. And of course, books is about a lifestyle and a way of making a living. But for me, it's about using a platform to reach people. Gavin and I had a meeting this morning. He's in Wales. We had a meeting this morning, a coming together not of minds, but of hearts. Back at you, Gavin. And we talked about the campaign and how this is going to go. We know how it's going to go. It's going to be successful regardless. Regardless, I want to involve you, as I am involved in your life. Tonight is Center of Light Introduction to Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. Excuse me. My new release, July 31st, 2020. My first book went bestseller, self-published, thanks to Renee Brown. She did, Bruce Lipton's bestseller, The Biology of Belief. So I've been fortunate to hang out with such players as Renee, Gavin, Bruce Lipton, all these. Yes, I'm dropping names. I like dropping names. Everyone has a beautiful name. Today's date is January. We've been locked in for a while. Excuse me. Today's date is June 2nd, 2020. That is 3. That adds to a 3. If you deduce those numbers down, it comes to 3. The book release date, July 31st, 2020, is a 6. 3 is the Trinity, that which heals, the coming around of absolute healing. 6, the release date, represents the ability to overcome difficulty. You bring this to a deduction, it comes to 9, the divine number. I'm already in alignment. We are already in alignment. I contacted Gavin, and he said, sure, Keith, I will work hard. And he got me a very, very good deal with John Hunt's Publishing Division, 6th Books. He said, Keith, why don't you just compile some of your previous work with some of your latter work and make this a story? And so what I did is I didn't say, well, I would like to. I didn't do that. The universe offered me a door, a window. The door is open as tonight is titled. Center of Light, Introduction to Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. The door is open. The door is open for me, but it's open for we. And we, Thee, can begin to be free as we homecome, cross the bridge to the soul. Right now, the world looks bleak. It does. But if you're the meek, you understand. You pull back, you watch the movie, engage when it's most powerful to do so. Otherwise, you keep quiet and step back and watch, because there's nothing you can do beyond that. Center of Light Introduction, Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. 30 passionate, sincere, humble, vulnerable, diligent, devoted years, not to my work, to my spiritual expansion. Take a piece of that with you. Own, if you will. You can own me, I don't care. A piece of that. Pre-order form is in this forum. Or you can always contact me, Keith, how do I pre-order your book? This would be of a great significance to my work. Share it, both. Own a piece of me. Read this beautiful work, this compilation of The Divine Principle, my bestseller, as well as commingled, dovetailed, spiritual sex, if you will, these two books, these two different phases of my life, when I went to India to see a divine man by the name of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. The highest incarnation, highest in quotes, no one's higher than any other, but the highest, meaning the most endowed spiritually incarnation of God to ever walk on this planet. The Godhead personified, called me to India, and he told me while I was there to do what I'm doing, and I'm doing it. And all this is aligning. And Gavin has been literally, quote, metaphorical, instrumental. You are that as well. 4 years ago, I was watching over a friend of mine's house. They were in England. I'm sitting on the sofa, bored out of my freaking skull. Hello, Vince Leffler. What's up, brother, man? Bass playing fool. Hello, Link. Hello, Sana. Hello, Therese. Gavin says, thank you. I am so blessed to have you in my life. Back at you, brother. This blew my mind. Thank you for sharing to the world. You're welcome. So I'm watching over my friend's house. And I'm sitting on the sofa, bored out of my skull, and I hear, Keith, go sit over by the fireplace and talk. This is not a prefabricated thought. Talk about what? And I knew what was happening. I'm having dialogue with spirit. Open your phone, press record on your video, look directly into it, and just let it happen. Without a doubt, like with the Divine Principle, I sat by the fireplace. And like being instructed, I went at it. And the first video 4 years ago was titled, You Can Have It All. All of it. You always could. There was never a time in your life when you couldn't have it all. But now, with teachers as myself and many others of the like, wants to send you further down the pike to something that can be equal to a lightning strike that blows open something for you so you can move effortlessly in it. Or, if you don't get into the garden gate now consciously, lightning will strike your family, meaning you. You're living in a very vulnerable, precious, sacred, prophesized time. There is no greater time ever, listen to me very carefully. There has been no greater time ever in the history of anything that means the absolute truth than now. This is what's been prophesied for thousands of years in many different religions. Not only is the human being the pinnacle of creation itself, you being the human being, and this time we're living in is the reason you were incarnated on this planet to become the manifestation, the living testament of the prophecy of heaven on earth. Wow, that should tell you everything that you are worth. And the girth of what you are, that you've waited for eons for this birth. Souls have been waiting for eons to become human. It is only through human birth that God can be realized. Yes, there are extraterrestrials, ultra-terrestrials, celestials in the universe that can become very intellectual and very illumined. But nothing is like this. Nothing like this has ever happened before. Ever. Actually, it's already done. We're just the living story of how it all happened. What's happening in your life? Are you living with joy, bliss, or are you living with sadness, grief, and strife? It's really up to you. Well, Keith, I don't know how. That's honest, and I hear you. I hear you. You know how to find me. Remind me. I'm always here. I'm not better than you. I've just done work in a said area of my life than many people. Some people may be excellent bowlers, or excellent craftsmen, or excellent this or that. Well, you've done your work, so you become the master of that. But if you're having struggle, strain, and effort in this time, without rhyme or reason, this is the season. There is nothing else. Don't look any further. Look within yourself. The gate is open. And the gate loves you. The God gate loves you so much. It will flood your life with everything you choose, consciously or not. What's the lyrics by Rush? If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. There's a voice being spoken to you through this platform of Center of Light. Always, but definitely again on this night. There are many Center of Light platforms throughout the world. You have to know what you're looking for. Well, Keith, that's just it. I don't know what I'm looking for. Congratulations. That's 50% of the work. And your declaration of being honest with yourself, I don't know what I'm looking for. That's a prayer. Dear Lord, that is a prayer. I don't know what I'm looking for. Seek and ye shall find. And then you find yourself standing at the garden gate of a delicious, juicy spiritual nugget that says, I want to embrace you. I want to involve you in this current life stream that I have for you by watching a YouTube video. It's all about your intention. As I always mention to you, it's you. Jesus was on a cross, not for Jesus. If this would be all about Jesus, most people want to make this all about Jesus. This is not all about Jesus. Jesus Christ, listen to me. This was all for you, was it not? Wasn't he not the savior of your sins in the old world dynamic? This is about you. And this is the time for it to be so about you that you embark upon this beautiful journey of you. You will never experience the love of God until you experience the love you have of yourself. There is no other way. Sounds arrogant, doesn't it? A master dance teacher is not arrogant. He's teaching you what he knows because he is a master dance teacher. A master chef is not arrogant in exposing and expressing himself to you of how to be a cook or a chef. And so we find ourselves as a sous chef. And we learn the ways of the master in any garb, any guise, for any reason, for that which we want. There is no other way. The only way to the truth is that you have to embody the truth itself to ever grasp or actually basically touch, even just to simply touch its garment. But once you touch the garment, wow, the nectar, the shower of grace that will flood you will become you, and you become it, and there is nothing else. From Michelle Gitt says, I'm sick of fighting. Get out of the fight. Hit J.R. Nake. Suzanne, Sana. Let's see who's here in this capacity. We're going to keep moving forward. Trudy Glenn, Tracy Newbacher. Hi, Tracy. Sana, Lynn, Michelle, Gail, Dana, Lewis, Gavin Lee Davies. Again, y'all, please visit the link in this forum on Gavin Lee Davies, an amazing writer, amazing individual. People just love him. Here's an excerpt. Excerpt. Excuse me. From my soon-to-be released worldwide distribution and publishing. Thank you, G. Pre-order now. Let me grab that link. This is from this body of work. Let me go to YouTube, see who's there on YouTube. Kelly's on YouTube. Hello, Kelly. Love me some Kelly. Robert Harrison. Love me some Robert. Pre-order now. An excerpt from Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. First, I want to do what I said I would always do, was establish the ancient church, reestablishing the ancient church. Here is the declaration of the new divine establishment mantra. I am here for real. This is not pseudo-spirituality. I know why I'm here, from soul to bones. I am Yah, Nava, the heart, God, will, power, purpose, passion. The mind, when it is clear, so that the light that lives within all of us is effortlessly manifesting the blissful joy, heaven on earth prophecy that is our divine birthright. Va is the backbone. When you stand up for something you so believe in, that you integrate it in such a way, you are it. You believe in Jesus so much that you lose your very self. Isn't that what you want? That the Christ becomes you. That the Buddha becomes you. The Krishna becomes you. Your great-grandmother who loved you so much just becomes you. It's becoming. Homecoming, crossing the bridge to the soul. Hello, Vesna. Hello, Nori. Gavin says, incredible author, you are changing the world, Keith. So are you, my brother. Everyone is. Thank you. Hanging out with these divine babas like Swamji. Reestablishing the ancient church. Declaration of the new ancient divine establishment mantra. Here is my mission statement. If you want it, I will send it to you. This is the rest of my life. And I love it so much. I am a soul of divine light, here on this planet to use my God-given abilities for peace and unity as an anchor for the prophecy of heaven and earth. I am that which is and will always be. My intent is to be conscious every moment, placing my feet on the path toward the kingdom of my divine birth. It is my birthright of which I now claim. Where I am from, where you are from, where we are from, where I am from, there is no blame, shame, nor game, as I am the sole provider of my infinite experience. No person, place, or thing can affect me in my essence, for I am invincible. My will is to forever move inward, which is upward, which is forward, which is toward the great central sun, S-U-N-S-O-N. I am that sun, S-U-N-S-O-N, or daughter. Because I give warmth and light to everything, I can never die. I am eternal. My divine principal parent is calling me homeward. Homecoming, crossing the bridge to the soul. And I must go. As I have patiently and powerfully taken steps for eons, I now find myself standing before the garden gate. With every breath, I cross the threshold and into the kingdom of forever. At last, I am at peace, for I am a child of the living light. And so it is. Amen. Excerpt from Homecoming: Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. Release date July 31st, 2020. You can pre-order that now. I just posted the link. Please support this beautiful work. Have me lie next to your bed on your bedstand, your nightstand, right? As a reminder of my love for you, or for inspiration reasons. When you are inspired, each person you pass the torch of wisdom to becomes a part of your spiritual favor, because that fire initially came through you. Every time your torch gets passed by others to others, you expand even further. And your light, which was shining in one person, now engulfs everything. In this unity of consciousness, we are all divine. Nori says, the kingdom. Yes. Hello, Marty Hester. Hello, Tiffany. Good evening, beautiful girl. Continuing with excerpts from my soon-to-be release with John Hunt's Publishing, 6th Books Division, Homecoming: Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. You can find this in there. In fact, it's probably page 8. This is the lead into the book, which is parts of the bestseller, my bestseller, The Divine Principle, with the entire book of my journey to India. We're going to make it. Part 2, Volume 2 will come out with the rest of the Divine Principle. It's not that you don't own the Divine Principle, nor for the love of God, but in reading it in such a way will help reveal the unfoldment process that I went through, so you can make it your way and your own, however you need to. From Homecoming: Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, page give or take 8. We have all heard the saying, time flies when you're having fun. Well, my friend, I can attest to that. Where has it all gone? From my experience, it hasn't passed me by as we normally perceive time to do. It just seems to have vanished. Today, which was last year, as I am writing this, I am grateful to find myself deeper into an infinite space where time is simply a play of divine consciousness. From the time I started writing my bestseller, The Divine Principle, in 1996 and completing it in 2009, I have learned so much from the wisdom that moved through my vessel. For the years that followed, I continued to live in the brilliant light of those teachings, which I have no doubt, dear Lord, I have no doubt, readied me for the next plateau. This is now. I consider that phase of my life as the initiation into spirit. From the year 2000 to 2014, I was working on a book about my pilgrimage to India to see a divine incarnation by the name of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. For the love of God, a spiritual journey was the beginning of the rising phoenix within me. Going back to 1996 and coming forward to 2014, I have experienced so much expansion that I almost could not contain myself. I consider that phase of my life as the integration of the spirit. About 4 years ago, as I said a little earlier, I was watching over a friend's house while they were in England. One day I was sitting on the sofa in silence, thinking of what I could do to alleviate my boredom, when all of a sudden a voice speaks to me from within saying, "Keith, grab your phone, go sit by the fireplace, turn on the video recorder and go at it." I immediately got up, went over there, sat on the pillow and got right to it, not knowing what was about to unfold. The first thing that welled up in my heart was to talk about how you can have it all. After looking into my cell phone and taking some deep breaths, intentfully, I connect. I could feel the voice begin to feel me inside, as it did when I was writing The Divine Principle. For the next 2 years, that presence began to consume me, literally. Since then, I've been doing a live video series on social media called Center of Light Burst. These presentations are off the cuff, allowing the voice of my heart to speak. One by one, people gather in the virtual room. They experience this divine love pour through my being and into theirs. It is such an amazing, beautiful thing to witness. Watching them at every gathering burn with a divine fire for radical transformation. After reviewing the playback of my first 8 videos, I came to realize that something I was unaware of had begun to occur. I was the one becoming more and more radically transformed. A new book was already being placed within me, so I contacted my marketing director, Renee Brown. I hired her to transcribe all that came to me through these sessions, and we began editing the message into a book format. Lo and behold, now, off and on, other than Homecoming, I am working on my next literary love titled Radical Transformation. This powerful, soon-to-be released wisdom has led me by the hand and heart to the golden door. Tonight the door is open. Has led me to the golden door entering the kingdom of the soul. Being in this heart space daily is what has caused time not to flee from me, but to utterly disappear. As I reflect on the last few years of my life, I realized that this time the voice was not only coming to speak to and through me. Oh my God. But has come to be with me as me. Yes, the dove of peace has descended into my heart at last. And along with that perching has come the grace of an ever-expanding awareness. This phase of my life I consider the graduation with spirit. Through this declaration, my dedication and vow to you is this. I am my, you can have it all. I now wear the golden ring on my finger, symbolic of my marriage with the divine. I cultivate this relationship at every possible moment through my commitment to live a life of service to all. But here's the thing. My olive branch gesture is that you reach for and join me in this sacred union yourself. And when you sincerely intend to do just that, the dove of peace and everlasting light will wipe the cobwebs of time from your mind and the darkness of fear from your vision. You too will find yourself crossing the bridge to the soul and reside in the garden at last. The powerful journey you are about to embark upon will take you between the divine principle, my first book, and for the love of God, my last one, and back again. Why? To create a timeline of the unfoldment process that I underwent and to where I am today. It is my intention and vision that this 2-volume lamplight will spark your initiation, integration, and graduation. It is my blessing that you will know from soul to bones, this is your homecoming. It looks like COVID-19. It's not what it is at all. You are sitting in wait. You're sitting in rest because it's time to pause. Soon, when you step out of yourself, out into the new environment, the new world, the old world's dead. It's never coming back. Sorry to tell you. My condolences. I mean it lightly. Pay your grievances now. Pay your grief. See it. Kiss it goodbye forever. It's never coming back. That world's invisible now. Cross the bridge to your soul. Truly, it's all you got. In fact, it's all you have. In fact, it's happening to you now. Whether you live in bliss, joy, or miss, and constantly employing yourself into something that is absolute knuckleheaded nonsense and folly. Or you're living in the jolly. Oh my golly, what are you doing? What are you doing? Do you want it all? You can have it all. You deserve it. It's your divine birthright. Now is your chance of a 26th-ish 1,000-year window come full circle. Ya. Look at this. Ya, na, va. Ya. John. God. John. Ya. The heart, passion, fire. All that beautiful stuff. That stuff. Na is the mind when it's clear. The circle within the Y represents completion, wholeness, divinity, infinity. The linear line over the N represents the mind, the linear aspect of ourselves. Provided we are clear. It's still linear and it's still the na. It's just a matter of are you clear? And if you look at the va, the erect spine in the V, you can be in a wheelchair or laying on a bed for the rest of your life and still have an erect backbone. It's about your attitude. Yanava, sacred seed syllables of your sacred seed self. That was my spiritual name that I came up with. I didn't come up with it. I didn't invent this. It was told to me in meditation. Yanava. And 2 years ago I said, what does this mean? He said, oh my God. Almost bewildered him. He said, like, how does this guy know this? He goes, listen to me very carefully. Yanava. He says, actually, Yaha, Naha, Vaha. Sacred seed syllables of your ancient primordial self. And here it sits before you, within your heart, within your lap, within your grasp, within your consciousness. There is a spiritual desktop shortcut icon, if you will, that can launch you beyond so much trouble so quickly. There is no shortcut, but if there ever was one, these teachings, at least from this platform, if you want it, please feel free to share this beautiful work as I will beautifully broadcast to my last breath. For those who are part of this campaign, who I love beyond measure, I love everyone beyond measure, but speaking of you, I will know exactly who you are. And I will send you often love nuggets. I just got some new recording gear and I'm going to start writing songs. While everyone waits for the release date, I will send it to you as soon as it's pressed. So forth and so on. You get my time, you get my love, you get my blessings. Extra kudos, if you will. Be a gold member. Share this work. Copy, paste, share. Done. You will expand as I expand, as others expand into the light of consciousness. This is where we're going. Hello, Tiffany Johnson. She says she loves her some love nuggets. Eric Stone, my singing brother, foo. That boy can sing like it ain't nobody's beeswax. Hello, Allison. Hello, Rosie. Gavin Lee Davies says, Yanava. I'm going to take a short pause. Let's see who's in the room. Allison Vesna, Sana, Lynn, Tiffany, Gail, Dana, Trudy, Lewis. I love me some Lewis. Lewis, thank you for your beautiful support. Eric, Gavin, Melinda. Everyone, I'm going to take a short pause. I go into these phases of integrating spirit in any such moment. Thank you, Gavin. So it's a way of me, quote, shifting gears. I shift gears. I go from monologue, Jay Leno, da, 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 da. It helps me to recollect, regroup. As I post my brother Gavin Lee Davies' website, check him out. You're locked in. Read a good book. #1 bestseller. Stomp all over his page. Gavin is a phenomenal writer, phenomenal person, marketing guy. My name is Keith Anthony Blanche. Going to be right back. there's something I want to read to you right before I go to break. And I'm going to play some Lavender Soul. I'm going to be recording music. I got new recording gear. Lavender Soul CDs comprised of members of the Memphis Symphony Orchestra. I as the springboard songwriter. Bernard Dusek as the springboard songwriter. We're selling these for $5 just to move them. Why not? Your feeling base. Eric says, I will be here to learn. You will also be here to teach, my brother. In your wanting to learn, you are teaching me that I want to learn. Good evening, Allison. Lynn says she loves my format as Bunifarina Winnefield enters into the building. Your feeling base is your guide back to the kingdom. Before I take my pause, last night my presentation was Trial by Fire, Transformation. Without blame, shame, or gain, let's just say the they. Whoever the they is, that's not from a point of view of a blame. It's just a they. It's another force coming in and influencing me. But I'm the knucklehead that buys into the nonsense. It's not my fault because that's what I was taught. But it is your responsibility. They came for your mind, and they got it. They came for my mind, and they got it. They got it. All the erroneous beliefs that we carry around, they've captured our mind. When all these things recently happened into the world, we were pulled in, as we should be. We are human beings, and we need to play the human game correctly and fairly without cheating. So we get involved. But there's a deception here. So they captured my mind, at least for a moment. And they're still going to try. Next, they have come and they have captured your feelings. Have they not? I understand compassionately, just like you, all the stuff happening in the world with the rioting and the looting. But it brings my feelings now into play. As it should, because you're still human. But when do we choose to become from the human having feelings to the divine being in the garden? Next, they want your body. They want to vax you. I am not anti-vax. I am not vax support. I am just saying whatever that system is, in, out, right, wrong, up, down, hot, cold, good, bad, holy, blasphemous, it doesn't matter. Whatever that system is, it wants to be so a part of you, it wants to be in your veins. Don't let your life be in vain. Do the research out here, but do the inner research. That which lives within me, within you, creates worlds and universes. Never, ever forget that. When we understand who walks beside us, we will never be afraid again. I will see you shortly. Allison says, I am a gardener. Plant the seeds. Germinate them. Watch them grow. And it's not the seeds that are growing, it's you. The seeds look like you're growing a plant. You are the plant. Plant yourself in that. How about Time for a Change, Lavender Soul, my spiritual original group comprised of Memphis Symphony Orchestra players. Oh my God, these people are just ridiculous. Time for a change. Not a change of the world, change of oneself. And by default, following suit, the world simply changes. Lavender Soul, Time for a Change. Beautiful song.
summertime when my world is dry, oh so dry. In the summertime I won't have no water. Oh, the wait, it's a little bit harder to as I contemplate a billion stars, leaving my hands to fate. That's all I've got, all I've got. In the summertime I won't have no water. It's a little bit harder to
Welcome back to Center of Light. My aim is to always be clear. Without clarity, things go awry really quickly. There's no more time to wait. The spirit is always pushed, but the door of 1111 is open. The door is open. Center of Light. The door is open. Homecoming, crossing the bridge to the soul. But we must become conscious. There is no other way. Be it you a Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, Islam, Jainism, Sikhism, it's all the same path. There are many paths to the path, but there's only one. Welcome to Center of Light. My name is Keith Anthony Blanchard. Yanava is my spiritual name. Yah, John, God, the heart. That which foretells what's coming out of God's unconditional loving grace to help all of us fall into the space of this beautiful place we call right here and right now. You are on an infinite journey to absolutely nowhere, because where you're trying to get to is right here. It's here. It's here. From my soon to be released book, what is this new world? It's not one of seeing, but rather one of being. In Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, release date July 31st, 2020. I need some share warriors. I want to be a part of your life. Keep me on your nightstand. Look, if you buy a book directly from me, I will put my patchouli and my stank all over it. Music is coming. My love is coming. Please send me your love, that which means something to you. Hello, Jill. In the Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, you will learn of my contact. You will learn of when I made contact with God. It doesn't make me special. It makes me joyful that I've done something somehow in my life at that time. Hello, Carolyn. That I was in such a dark night of the soul that I found with passion. Passion is the fire. It's the roll up your sleeves and fix the car and get grease under your fingernails kind of energy. But I was sincere. I mean this. I really, really mean this. But I was humble to the process that I didn't know shit. But also I had to make myself vulnerable to be open enough to receive the gift. Homecoming. This is what you will find in my soon to be released July 31st, 2020. Life's work. I'm in it for real. You will also learn in Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, when this happened, what did I do with that? I mean, it was strange. I knew it as something that was familiar. From an older world, the ancient door, but it was strange. I live in the Bible Belt. Nothing against the Bible Belt, but I live in the Bible Belt. I was processing how people might react, and then I realized this place, this kingdom, has nothing to do with any of that. So it lived very short term for me. As I learned to process this all and started to fall into the grace. And then once I got a glimpse or touched that garment, the gamut of it all came to my disposal. In Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, you will learn of my contact with extraterrestrials all of my life since I was a child. Gail says she owns her copy of The Divine Principle. Signed, Keith signed it and made it smell so good. God bless you, precious. I do have your book for you, but I can't give it to you. I can, but I won't. The anticipation is beautiful, right? The patience. I'll send it to you July 31st, I promise. How I begin to process it all. It will also tell Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul of my time throughout my early childhood to the age of 33. Thank you, Gavin. Gavin just posted to pre-order from 6th Books Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. It's like a $17 purchase. It is worth my 30 years of learning and shortcutting to put this in a 250-page book, give or take, so that you can extract the divine nectar, the amaranth, the ambrosia, the vibhuti ash, that which is on my head. The process of how it all happened. My time with extraterrestrials, my time with celestials, my time with ultra-terrestrials, angelic beings. You will also learn of the prophecy. Hello, Donna Bell. You will also learn of the prophetic visions I've had. It wasn't just, Keith, tell this story about what's coming in 2020. Because right now it's 1996. It wasn't this burning bush Moses kind of voice. It did have that kind of power. But in those messages were images, encrypted images, and in the images was encrypted information. I did say December 31st, 2019, and I did do a fireworks celebration, and I did say tomorrow morning when you wake up, your life as you know it will no longer exist. If you don't get on board the train now, the life you have been living will take a back seat to what is happening all around you. This is transpiring. I very much know who I am, and I know why I'm here. In Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, you will also learn of my time with alien human hybrid Nucleus 8. He is 4,740 years old in one life. He is head of security in this quadrant of our solar system. Sounds crazy good. Crazy is the new normal. You will also learn of what happened to me in India. In Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, release date July 31st, 2020. You will own the entire book of my journey to India for the love of God, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. So this collaboration of my bestseller, self-published bestseller, to my self-published home, for the love of God, spiritual journey, you will get the privilege, as I still get the privilege of being me, but you have the privilege of watching someone who is your brother. I am the guy that lives next door to you. I'm going to be the guy that knocks on your door and say, I'm out. Can I borrow some sugar? We are in prime time to expand into the garden of forever. It's truly now or never. I hope you choose to endeavor your feet towards the path that will take you right back to where you are. The path you want to get to is the one that takes you right back to where you are. You are the rock star. There is nothing in existence that is ever, nor can ever be created greater than the possibility of you. Do you accept that? And until you do, you cannot experience your divine birthright. Jesus sacrificed, rather, I understand that word. Let's use another word. Jesus lived his life for you. How important and integral does that make you? I'm going to go inside. I want to change the music. I'm asking you, join me in this beautiful possibility as a contribution to this beautiful reality we call your life, our life, humanity. Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, Homecoming, a compilation of two of my... I'm honored for this beautiful work. Share it when you see it. I will give you perks, trust me. Have one on your nightstand just to remember me, because I love you. Fall into that with me. I will know on some level that you've picked up that book, and I will visit you in your night excursions. I am truly dwelling, crossing the threshold, homecoming into the garden of the soul on this level of consciousness. I am walking through doorways. You are the doorway I truly want to walk into. And I want you in turn to walk into me. And as we walk into we, there we will sit in the garden of forever. Share my work. Share your play. Let's play in the garden, the cosmic sandbox together. There is nothing else. Or you could sit at home wishing they will let you out. Or you choosing to go inward, without a doubt. Let's see what happens when I take the initiative, intention, to engage. It's beautiful how all these words seem to line up in this poetic, beautiful fashion. Let's see what I can fashion with this intention. Hello, Chris Martin. I love acknowledging people. I love acknowledging you. Hi, Chris. My childhood guitar gunslinging friend, Tiffany. Is your last book a necessary read before crossing the bridge? Beautiful question. I could say, yeah, sure. So I'm going to say, yeah, sure. No, it's not. If you want to read The Divine Principle now, so you can get the whole bang of what that was for what it was for me at that time, by all means. It is a complete sandwich in and of itself. But when you read it from the compartmentalized, to use a word, intention of these two books coming together, it reveals an unfoldment process. So the Divine Principle is a powerful, dear Lord, it's alive. It is a living testament. But when you read it in this fashion, Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, release date July 31st, 2020, it shows the actual unfoldment process, which halfway through the Divine Principle, I went to India because this divine man on my arm, everything's backwards, so it's strange, came to me in a dream and said, come see me, Keith. I said, how? He said, don't worry about it. 2 weeks later, from someone I never met, I get a round trip ticket to India. And pinching myself 3 months later, going, oh my God, this is actually happening. So it reveals the unfoldment of this journey I call, thanks to Gavin Lee Davies, which I'm now going to post his beautiful website about his beautiful passion, which is now called Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. So I'm going to fall inside. I love doing this thing right here before I go inside. This. Yanava, Ya, heart, God, will, power, eternity. Na is the mind, the linear, clear mind. Va is the backbone, taking action. Here we go. Today is June 2nd, 2020, which is a 3. The release date of Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, the numbers deduced down to 6. Release, marketing campaign, 3. Release, 6. Those together as the Divine Principle, and for the love of God, like those two books combined, is a 9, the divine number. There is no greater number. There is no other thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then it all starts over again. So 9 is that which encompasses everything. So speaking of encompassing everything, let me fall inside and encompass myself into the everything. See what happens. You are loved beyond measure. Spirit steps to the fore immediately. Dear ones, you are loved beyond measure. It is Spirit's pleasure to be in this treasure trove with you. Again, again, and again, we go at it. Intentionally, divinely, seriously, passionately, humbly, and vulnerably. Though you hear this beautiful music, which it is, do you hear the empty space between all the hand drumming, which has the potential to be even greater music? But as a whole, they are the music. But I am asking you to fall into the empty space. The one that is able to observe the music as the sound. That thing, though the notes are beautiful, they change. Would you agree to that? Every note, every hand drum you hear, they change in all their beauty. Agreed. But in the silence, there's something else you can hear, and it's that which lasts forever. And this is a beautiful possibility or metaphor of what that is. So the silence is the infinite drone. Do you get it? It's the silence. That which sustains is and forever will be. That is so deliciously powerful. There is no arduous task required of you. Nothing is asked of you to be a blissful human being except to stop all the nonsense and all the noise and become the empty space, the infinite ongoing drone of that which is the observer of all the notes of life. That's it. Yeah, but then you've already missed it. But you don't understand. You've already missed it. Do you hear that thing that you can't hear? Do you hear that thing that you can't hear? That thing that you can't hear, you can hear that you can't hear it. Congratulations. You are in homecoming, crossing the bridge to your soul. Dear Lord, that thing that you can't hear, you hear that you can't hear it. That's it. That's the garden. That's the gate. There is nothing else. What I am offering to you as a spiritual teacher and my mission, I will not fail. Let me put it to you this way. When I lay this body down in my last exhale, I will feel accomplished, regardless. I know who I am, and I'm trying to fire you into yourself so that you know who you are. The world is lighting up. Look around. Are you lighting up? Look within. That's how you win. The world that we're in now is not one of seeing at all. It's one of being. Let me fall back inside. What it feels like to me when I take that breath. It's like you doing what you do and you've been doing it so long, you just make one gesture and you're into it. So what it feels like to me is I make a gesture, an intention, and it surfaces immediately. And the bliss that I feel, I starve for it. I want it. Homecoming, crossing the bridge to the soul. The gate has never not been open. But we have always and forever been hoping that you would finally at last see that for yourself. So that you can free yourself from your self-induced bondage. But no longer see it as self-induced bondage. See it as a stepping stone. So that you may use it as a ladder, as Jacob's ladder, a spiritual ladder, the spirit ritual ladder, spiritual ladder. And it becomes default in you, then you will no longer find fault in everyone else, including yourself. And then nicely you plant your pinky toe into the garden of the infinite soul, you divine birthright. On this night, as many other nights you have been given this. Do you want to know what monks do in caves? Do you know what Buddhists do in caves? Do you know what Jesus did in the wilderness? Do you know what Buddha did in the wilderness? You want me to tell you? I will share with you lovingly. Ho'oponopono. 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 Do you know what that means? Forgiveness. When these beings go into a space of spiritual God Samadhi, union with the Creator itself, they forgive. They forgive themselves for what they have done. They forgive others for what they have before thought someone had done to them. And they begin to stretch and expand into the space of forgiving everyone for doing everything to everyone else. This is where you are. Forgiving those on the outside of you right now, the bad people, the vaxxers, the liars, deceivers. You're greater than that. Until you hunker yourself down and bite the fishing lure that's been thrown to you to capture your mind, to capture your feelings. Compassion is a beautiful thing, dear ones. Don't ever forget it. It is who you are by nature. Until by your nature you lose yourself through nomenclature and everything else that distracts you from the garden. When you lose yourself, you become useless to everything else that you're trying to create and to help everyone else. They've come for your mind, they've come for your feelings, and they're capturing them. Next, they're coming for your body. This is not blame, shame, or game. This is about putting it in your face so you can honestly taste what is happening. I don't like that so much. All right, then stop eating it. So you put it down. I like this a little better. A little better you get, a little more nobler you become. The new earth is not about seeing, it's about being, becoming, homecoming, crossing the bridge to the soul. There's nothing ever created in the universe more important than you. What if everything that has ever happened, the stories you've been told, the truth and the deception, because the truth is, the deception is part of your truth. If it wasn't, you wouldn't be so aloof and have experienced it. But now that it is part of who you are, what if all of this was just simply a story to bring you to this point in no time to move you into the garden? Homecoming, crossing the bridge to the soul. Because you can bet your sweet bippy, when you stand into the garden of forever and before your divine maker, everything you think is true and or not will be shattered. Why not shatter that illusion now? Do you think you can bring your nonsense into the garden of forever in innocence, in purity? Impunity? It's definitely all about the unity of your sacred, beautiful soul self. There is nothing else. There is nothing else. There is no arduous task. There is no effort. Simply be quiet. Stop talking. And I don't mean with the mouth, which immediately will take you south when you declare what you think you know what's going on, but the mind. When you do this, there you will find something as a great possibility you never thought of before. But it is you, to the future you, all the way back to the ancient days of yore. It's you and yours. And I implores you to stop talking. Stop thinking. Yes, the world is a kick in the groin, a chop in the throat, a blow to the heart, a punch in the solar plexus. It hurts. I get it. As I say always, I am going to leave you with this powerful question. Beyond measure, it should, could, would affect you if you just let it. What is that question? Ya, na, va. Everything that's happening to you, with you, around you. Now what? Now what is a prayer to the absolute saying. I don't have to like it, or even if it's something you love. Push comes to shove, that which is above. It doesn't matter the scenario and how you deem your life to be in any said moment. Even in the bliss, or even in the that which is amiss, just say, now what? And then you will get everything. That is your divine birthright. Homecoming, crossing the bridge to your soul. Homecoming, crossing the bridge to the soul. Release date, July 31st, 2020. It does not only belong to me. It belongs to you as well. Heaven and hell, love spell. Nothing has ever been created in the universe beyond the love and light of you. This is what you are due. I love you beyond measure. It is my treasure and my pleasure simply to be with you. You can pre-order Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul now. Look in this forum. You will find it. Get on amzn.to. Keith Anthony Blanchard, Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. You can do this for me, for you, for we. I will send you all the love nuggets as I see you share this beautiful divine blessing that we've all been given. I'll see you soon. I love you.